Good evening to you from the shores of Ghana. Welcome to the all-new Geek Squad show with me, Perpetual Adobia Biritwum. It's 7 minutes past 7 and we are live on Joy 99.7 FM. We are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. Now I know that both you and I have just been waiting for this day. And finally, it's about to go down. Yes, my guests are fired up. And we have a very interesting topic for discussion. Most of us, if not all of us, who use mobiles, have mobile money wallets. And today we are looking at how best we can secure our mobile money wallets. Now, maybe you don't know, but according to BOG, about just this year, from January to the first half of the year, there were about 860 billion transactions on mobile money alone. And it has become very convenient. Because of this, we know what is happening. Just some few days ago, I had someone call me. And the first thing the guy said was, "Can you do me a favor? Someone I don't know from anywhere. What kind of favor do you want from me? I should send him mobile money." I believe you may have encountered something like that. Or, if not you, a friend of yours. We want to see how best we can secure our wallets. And that is why we are here on the show tonight. Thank you so much for making time to join me. Yes, it's my debut of being the host, and I am pumped up and super excited. So are my guests, and we are just going to get into the topic. But before we do that, I want you to just take a listen so that we get to know what has happened with some people when it comes to mobile money fraud. A lot of things are going on, but we just want to stay safe, and that is why we are on Geek Squad. The show is there just to enlighten and empower you, so that we can bridge the gap when it comes to technology and the application in the different aspects of our lives. So now let's just take a listen to some of the experiences people have had when it comes to mobile money fraud.
There was this day I went out with a friend lawyer. When we went to the court, it was actually a court. So after the court, his client was supposed to send him money via Momo. But he didn't want to use his because he said he had issues with his Momo number. So he asked me to send my contact to the person. So the person sends the money. So immediately after I sent the contact, I received a message from a different contact that, am I the one he's supposed to send the money to? And I said yes. Then he said okay. So later the person called and requested that I should send my Momo details for him to send the money. And I said, oh, but how? Then he asked if I was closer to any vendor or I have access to Momo. And I said, oh, of course I do, but I'm not closer to any vendor. So he asked that he would rather send me a code to dial so that I'll be able to do it, because he said he was to send it via a bank account. But because I'm using Momo, he wanted me to send a code, my Momo code. And I said, oh, how? So lucky the lawyer friend heard it. So he asked me to show him the contact, and he asked me to call again. So when I called the person was still insisting I send the code. So the lawyer friend insulted the man and asked me not to send it. So when the lawyer insulted him, he was like, he is trying to help us and we are rather giving him attitude. So later when we hung up, the lawyer friend asked me not to do it because it's scam, and that wasn't the contact. So after we hung up with the man, the lawyer friend called the person that was supposed to send the money to me. So he called and the person said he hasn't sent anyone any message nor even called. Then the lawyer friend said I shouldn't mind the person. So if not for the lawyer friend, there was a higher possibility that I'll send the code to the person to have access to my Momo account.
What's the reason why you don't use mobile money?
Oh, okay, you see, the scammers nowadays, it's too much. It's too much. And I'm not interested to.
So you don't use Momo at all? At all? So if anyone wants to send you money, then they should send it to someone.
Maybe let's say my friend is here, so I'll give my friend's contact to the person so that he or she will send it on it for me.
If you are just joining us, we are live on Joy 99.7 FM. We are also live on our Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Just check Joy 997 FM and you would catch us there. Just in case you have a friend who says they don't have a radio, this is just the time for them to go online and watch what is happening here. We want to get interactive. We just listen to some experiences from people when it comes to mobile money, fraud, and securing our wallets. Now, with this said, I just want to share our number with you. You can send in your WhatsApp message or you can call in. We are going to activate the phone line so that you can share your experience with us. You can call us on 030-221-6541. You can call us on 030-221-6541 or you can send your WhatsApp message to 055 1111998 055 1111997. All right. Now we are just going to get into the studio. While we wait for you, we will just go to our guests and get their experience. Now I have with me three wonderful gentlemen and they are all here very knowledgeable when it comes to securing our wallets. The first that I'm going to introduce to us is Mr. Godwin Kwame Tamaklu. He is the Senior Manager Regulatory and Compliance for Mobile Money Limited. You're welcome, Godwin. Now the second guest I have is Eric Kweku Mensah. He is the lead financial crimes and anti-money laundering. You are welcome, Eric.
Thank you very much for inviting us to share our perspective on the subject matter.
Thank you. Now, the last and definitely not the least is Gideon Kofi Amegavi. He also is very knowledgeable and a cybersecurity professional. You are welcome, Gideon.
Thank you, Perpetual.
Great. Now I'm going to start with you, Gideon. Can you just share with us, have you had any experience when it comes to mobile money fraud or we just keeping ourselves secure?
Yeah, thanks very much and good evening to your listeners. I think this is a topic I'm very passionate about and the reason being is these mobile money fraudsters are everywhere, which is why we need to talk about it. Yes, and personally, I've had a couple of experiences when it comes to these guys trying to be smart with us day in, day out. I would like to share a personal story to begin with. Yeah, so I think during the COVID era, I was called by one of these fraudsters, and the guy indicated to me that he mistakenly did a transaction, and the transaction ended up on my mobile money wallet. So I should just help him by sending it back to him. So I was in doubt, so I just tried to quickly check my balance, and I noticed that that wasn't the case. So I played along, tried to see how he was going to, fraud me, and lo and behold, along the line I got him, and then he couldn't succeed. So it's something I can really relate to. Yeah.
Sure.
Thanks very much.
Eric, any experience from your end?
Of course, mobile money fraudsters are no respecter of persons. And of course, I have been targeted before, but mind you, I didn't lose money, right?
Okay.
And secondly, by the nature of our work at E-Crime Bureau, we are also involved in the advocacy and the investigations in relation to, e-money or electronic payments. So mobile money is just a part of that whole spectrum of channels that are used for transactions. So per the nature of our job, we have dealt with most of these fraud cases before, and I know we will share some of these experiences here
As we go on, yes, definitely. Godwin.
Yeah, yeah. I've personally have had several instances this week, maybe about 5 calls, and to some extent, sometimes they even use your name, trying to defraud a staff of our company, because you are known, and so when you mention Godwin Kwame Tamaklo says that this and this and this, and thinking that people would follow their tricks and fall victim to them. So yeah, I have several occasions.
So what you just mentioned, you said sometimes they even use your name. So
Yeah.
how do they even come into contact, as in getting your contact details, where they are able to even call people and use your name and try to just defraud them?
Right. You just introduced me. We're on social media now.
That's a good one.
We're on social media. You just introduced me, and that's how it goes. And the way we interact, people can come to your office, people can come to your branch, and somebody is making a call, speak to this person, and you'll be able to assist and those kind of things. So I mean, we've been on television and radio stations, in the market, community, using community information service to educate people, and so people will know, your name. So yeah.
Got you. Now, my dear listener, we have heard something from our guests, and I would like to also hear from you. Have you ever had any experience with any of these fraudsters at all? Just call in and share your experience with us, because we are here to answer your questions and also to just teach you ways that you can keep your mobile money wallet secure. So I want to hear from you. Call us on 0302 216541, 0302 216541. We want to hear from you, any experience you have had at all when it comes to securing your mobile money wallet, and let us have. You can also share with us on WhatsApp 055 1111 997, 055 1111 997. You can also ask your questions or share your experience with us via WhatsApp or through the phone calls. Now, with the story that we have just mentioned in terms of our experience when it comes to mobile money fraud, it looks like no one is safe, because looking at how knowledgeable and how we know more about this, like anyone can be a target. So Eric, like, is it even safe at all to have money in my wallet? Because it looks like anyone can be targeted.
Of course, it is safe, and that is the way to go. When you look at the evolution of money, you realize that it started from, barter trade to cowries and, those kind of stuff. Now we are in the era of e-money, right? Some scholars will say there is the digital currencies also, right? And the cryptocurrencies and all that. So it's not going to end. The use of electronic payment would exist. Now the question is, how then do we secure ourselves? Because there are some protocols that needs to be put in place, both from the institutional point of view, and then even from the users of these digital currencies, the mobile money specifically, right? So those are the things that need to be put in place. Now, when you look at the statistics from GSMA, globally in 2022, the total mobile money transactions was $1.26 trillion. When we bring it back home to Ghana, in 2022, total was about 1.07 trillion Ghana cedis. And I heard you mention earlier that even this year,
Yes,
we are over 800 billion, right? So when you want to do the calculation or you want to project to the end of the year, you might be hitting about 1.6 trillion Ghana cedis, right? So it has become a very hot spot for criminals. Criminals will go where the money is. So this is the reason why I think even Joy is doing this, so that we can conscientize those who are listening to be able to protect themselves. In fact, I know we might talk about the best practices, but one of the things we have seen at E-Crime Bureau is criminals leveraging on social engineering. calling you to, tell you stories for you to transfer money back to them or give them your PIN and all that personal information. So it is safe to use once all these protocols are put in place.
Sure. You mentioned social engineering. For the sake of our listeners, could you break that down a bit?
Okay. In fact, that was a very big word, right? So social engineering basically is hacking, but not with codes. Okay, hacking your human emotions. So somebody would typically say something to be able to, make you do something that ordinarily you wouldn't do. So after you've done the thing, you realize that, what did I just do? So for example, someone calls you and tell you, I am sending a code to you on your WhatsApp. Let me just use the WhatsApp takeover as an example. You'll be getting a code, and when you get the code, forward it to me, because we've actually added you to a group page, and in order to secure the group, you need to get the code, send your code to us to be able to make the group very secure. This is just one example of that. So they craft the story so nice for you to believe. Now, when you believe the whole story, then you give the code to them. So that is basically what social engineering is.
So it's more or less building trust with you, and then they use that trust that you have built with them to, at the end of the day, defraud you.
Great.
Sure. Got you on that. All right. Anything to add in terms of that, Gideon?
Yeah, thanks, Perpetual. So, I think Eric has done justice to that already, but let me just add a word or two. So, basically, the means these guys are using is the social engineering. And I don't want to be more technical here, but they use these two different approaches under the social engineering, which is technically what we call the vision, tricking people through phone conversation, and the smashing, which is through the SMS. So these are the two key ways they go about this whole activity. And the core of the process, or the goal at the end of the day, is to put some level of fear or panic into the victim. So once the moment you are under pressure, or you are afraid of losing something, sometimes it's not just about just the fear and the panic. It's also about greediness. Some people are greedy enough to enter into some of these tricks without knowing it, because they feel that there's a reward at the end of the day. There's a price attached to it. So they kind of psych you up to see your weakness. So it's a matter of exploiting your weakness, the human weaknesses. An example is the greed, the curiosity, your fear of losing something, and all those kind of. Sometimes people are just good Samaritans. They just want to be very helpful to others, and that is another area people, because hearing emotion, like a story which is very, emotional. Let's say my auntie or my daughter or my relative is at the hospital, and I was sending money to the person, and mistakenly it came on your wallet, so help me send it back. As a Christian, you definitely want to do that, the good Samaritan in you. And these are some of the means these guys craft to get the victims.
We are looking at how best we can secure our mobile money wallets, and sometimes we have seen that people just play on our emotions. But then we will get into more details as to how we can best secure ourselves. We are on the Geek Squad show. It is my debut being the host of the show, and my tall list of shoutouts are there. Do not change the dial. We'll be back right now after a quick break.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
It's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
"Sharp!" I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information. We are good together everywhere you go.
I love this station.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, this is Kobe Mike. You're speaking from MTN office.
Kobe. How am I?
We want you to be that vigilant. When they call you, you can just let them know, say, Emfa, there's no way they can get you. You are welcome back to the Geek Squad with me, Perpetual Adobia Biritwum. We are looking at how best you, our dear listener, can secure your mobile money wallet. We heard from our guest earlier how they can just play on our emotions, and sometimes some people are just greedy. They just want more money, and because of that, when they hear anything about, oh, send it and then I'll add this, they go ahead and do it. But we want to see how best we can secure ourselves. So I'm going to ask you, Godwin. Today I had a conversation with someone, and she says her mom says she's going to withdraw all her money from her mobile money account. Is that the way to go? How do we secure us? Is that the way to go?
Thank you. I mean, it's not the way to go, as my brother Eric said earlier. But you would understand the person, probably she had some bad experience in terms of getting herself being defrauded by somebody else, and for that reason wouldn't want to continue using the service. But before we go into how do I protect myself, I need to understand how do they attack me.
Yes.
Right? How
yes.
do they attack me? And my brother mentioned two major ways, and we are focusing on the most prevalent type of fraud that is within our industry in Ghana, which is the social engineering. I explain it to be a way by which someone will prey on your innocence, in quotes, will prey on your greed, or will prey on your emotions. Three things. So in all the cases, you have an SMS coming through to your phone. And then there will be a follow-up call. And the call could be any other thing they want to talk about, right? So, for example, they send you an SMS, and you look at the SMS, some spellings are wrong, and you think, what is all this? They don't even know anything. It's not that they don't know anything. They know what they are doing. Actually, they intentionally misspelled some of the words, and I'll tell you the reason why. And then they will follow up with call. Now, with time, what they have been saying had changed. Initially, they would have just spoken to you directly and say, look, I sent you money, kindly check the SMS, and then, because I want you to send it to me back, let me walk you through how you can do it and send it to me back. Now they've gone beyond that. What they will do is, have you seen the SMS I sent to you or you received? Because I was sending money and went to somebody else, sending money to somebody else and came to you. Please, you check. I will call you back. So as in they are giving you time. Then somebody else calls you to say, I'm from MTN, and we just identified a call coming to you saying that, they've sent you money. Look, they are fraudsters, so don't mind what they want to say or blah, 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 blah. Then another person, the same person will call back and say, oh, you have reported me to MTN, and why did you do that, and blah, 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 blah. So it's all one. That process is to get your attention. Take your mind off what your protective guards are and you become very vulnerable. As they're not moving, what are they saying? What is all this about? And sometimes you might even get angry. That is what they want. They want to put you in that state. And for that reason, when they say this, you want to do that, let me do it quickly and let them go and I'll be free. But then they end up, defrauding you. One, because it is a call, identify the number that is calling you. All the service providers, MTN is 0244 300,000. No one will call you with any other number from MTN, without the 0244 300,000. So if it is an MTN call that is coming through, when the person said, hello, I'm calling for MTN or I'm so and so, just take the phone off your ears. And then take a look at the number. As long as it is not what I've mentioned, 0244 300,000, whatever transpires after, it's a way to defraud you. So you drop it. The other service providers have their own numbers, but I'm just stressing on that of the MTN. So you are very careful about the first entrance of their way of defrauding you. That is the call to engage you. So please, can you hold on? Then you take the phone and then you take your time. There's no law under this country that pushes you to do anything as quick as you want to. No. So you take your time and then you look at the number. And this number isn't the 0244 300,000. Then why is this person calling me with a different number seeking to talk to me about mobile money, blah, 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 blah. Then you know it is fraud, right? So sometimes they will just, block the number. So it comes as if it is private or there's no. If you can't see anything, then it is something you cannot trust. So you don't even engage, right? So that is the first thing. The most important thing is to block the means of the attack, which is the phone number. For the SMS, when you see it and you read it, you really normally don't even see it until they call you to realize that the SMS that have come through. So the major means of attack is the phone call, and that is where you just need to relax, take your time, and then take a look at the number.
Okay. Just a quick one. I would just like to find out from you, Eric. So he mentioned the phone call. Is it possible that someone can defraud you without necessarily going through that means?
So it depends on the modus of the criminal, right? Because we've had instances where fraud occurs via email. We have something we call business email compromise. We have email fraud related activities. So it might not necessarily be the phone call directly, but it can contact you via different means. Now, let me give you another scheme we have seen. Okay, two quick schemes. We have seen a change in the trend. Earlier on, you have calls coming in. Oh, Antonio, London, Siwanio, that kind of calls. Yes, but those calls, per our analysis, have actually gone down. Now, what we are seeing is that the criminals are leveraging e-commerce and using mobile money as a cash out channel. So what do I mean? You go to Google, you type your popular whatever pizza joints or fast food joints, and the number will pop up. Per our analysis, some of these numbers that pop up are the criminals' numbers. So if I set up a fast food joint, Eric Fast Food, and you go to Google, you type it in, you will see a number pop up. That number might not be my number. And what I'm talking about right now was reported just this Saturday that came in. This lady nearly lost over 2,000 Ghana cedis because 3 weeks before this Saturday, she had typed in one popular joint, a number came up, she engaged the person, and the person was very professional. The person gave the menu and all that. She ordered about 40 sets of jollof and all that. And Friday she was supposed to go and then place the half payments, those kind of protocols, so that Saturday the food comes in. This guy insisted that the lady should make the payment via mobile money. The lady too said, no, I don't know you. So let me come to your shop or to your store. Then the whole thing unveiled and the guy started insulting her. So if she had not done her due diligence, I'm saying this because that is the channel we are seeing now. Right. So viewers, I know viewers, because you are also streaming. Yeah. Viewers and then listeners should be cautious. Okay. Another one is criminals leveraging on WhatsApp takeover and cashing out via mobile money. So what do I mean by that also? They target people's WhatsApp. They ask you, give me your code, 6-digit code and all that. When they are able to hijack your WhatsApp, say Perpetual your WhatsApp, because you're a credible person, somebody of good repute, I have hijacked your WhatsApp. Then I send messages to your friends that, oh, Pepe, I am actually, stranded. Can you send me 100 Ghana cedi? Can you send me 200 Ghana cedi? That kind of story. And because they know, for you won't lie. They will send money to those money channels. So I am saying this because this is the trend that is ongoing, and listeners as well as viewers should be cautious. The rule of thumb is they should be cautious. They should flag everything that comes to them as fraud. Then do their due diligence before they declare it as it's a genuine transaction.
Yeah. With what you just said, someone shared a similar story once they saw that I uploaded a flyer. And the question I asked her was, when you received the phone call, why didn't you check with your cousin, the so-called cousin who is sick and needs the money? Exactly. So I think that is where we have to be vigilant and then do the due diligence, as you are saying. Call the respective persons we have been informed is either in the hospital or has had any problem and we need to send money to them. Then we are very sure it is true or not true. And I think you really have a good point there. You mentioned something about the e-commerce though. So with this lady, she got the number from online. Does it mean these fraudsters are changing the numbers? Gideon, I think this can come to you. Does it mean they are changing the numbers on the web? Okay.
So that is true. So these guys, day in, day out, they are advancing their ways of operation, So they listen to programs like this, and they get to know what the regulators are doing, what the law enforcing agencies are doing, and then they also devise other means. The e-commerce bit is something I want to touch a little bit on. Now our life is more digital. People would want to order their pizza online, want to fast food everything, just like Eric indicated. So these guys have noticed that this is also a lucrative avenue. So if a business doesn't have its online presence, I can create a fake page of it on behalf of you. And this thing, I have a client who reported a similar thing to me. It was a pizza fraud. So he placed the order. They asked him to make payment before the pizza will be prepared. So he was like, no, I want to pay in cash. So I want to come there, and upon pickup, I will pay. So they were still pushing pressure on him. And that's why we said earlier, they put you in a state where you will be tempted to react in a way that will ease yourself from the pressure. So this guy refused to pay the money and drove all the way to the pizza joint, only to find out that there was no order placed there. The phone number he called does not belong. Because we are on air, I can't mention the name of the pizza joint. You see, and that is what is happening now. Okay. You get it? So, and you did ask a question that apart from maybe the phone call and the SMS, what other means can people get to us? Mobile money fraud is not just about unknown people defrauding people from afar. It even happens within our household. The question I want to ask the public is, when was the last time you changed your PIN? Yes. So one education I do give to people is that treat your PIN like your toothbrush. Yes. I don't think you use your toothbrush for the whole year. But ask yourself, when was the last time you changed your mobile number or the mobile PIN? You hardly change that. And the next question is, do you share your toothbrush? You don't. So why do you want to share your PIN with someone? You get it? Yeah, so these are the ways and means these guys are using. So within your household alone, you know that you are not safe. Because if people, friends, family, colleagues at work and all these guys are chancing on your PIN, and it's the same PIN you've been using across board, then possibility of you being frauded or defrauded or whatever could be high. You get a point. Yeah, so the education out here is that in as much as we are targeting the outsiders, we have insider trade as well. The insider trade is even more deadly than the outsider.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't forget, it's not always about people calling you and trying to defraud you from afar. Yeah, so I think that is it. That is a little I want to add to what Eric and my other colleague Gordon said. Yeah.
Sure. We've received some messages from you, our listeners, and so we want to just go into that. This is from Albert Nyavi Lakeside Estate. It says one way these fraudsters are able to get the names of their targets is via the Momo platform itself. They tend to transfer money to your number. In that process, Momo platform reveals your name, and this is how they get to know whom they will be engaging. Another way is the use of fintech platforms such as ExpressPay, Haptel, among others. These platforms will reveal the names of the wallet owners when you input the numbers.
Yeah.
That's actually very true.
True, yeah.
Right, and it is just for the customer to be aware. You see, it is a good thing we are doing for people, and then somebody is using that good thing to defraud another person. Yeah. So when you are doing a transaction, we give you 3 ways by which you confirm the person you are transferring the money to. 3 options. So when you enter the first number, you are asked to repeat the number, which is the second one. Then when you are about to enter your PIN, we give you the opportunity to not only look at the number, but also look at the name that has been registered with that number. So you, the one who is sending the money, you are sure that I am sending it to Prince, I'm sending it to Eric, I'm sending it to Godwin. Then you can now proceed and enter your PIN, and then you send. So yes, that is for us to help our customers, give them some alternatives or a way by which they will be able to be sure that this is what I'm doing, and I'm doing it to the person that I want to send the money to. But then they will now also do the same thing and then look at the name and write it down. It's a whole institution. Before they call you, they would have worked on you for about a day or 2.
Yeah.
You know, gathering all those information. There was a lady friend of mine who came to knock my door and was asking, she does not understand the reason why the person called and then mentioned her birthday. And I said, go to Facebook. I just saw it. Go to Facebook. Today is my birthday and I'm celebrating it myself. So today, 12th of whatever date, the person knows that that is your birthday. Yeah. So he called and said, happy birthday, blah, blah, blah. I'm so and so, and you still can't recollect where you knew this person. It's because I just saw your post on Facebook. You know, so some of these things, you know, unknowingly, you do it just to also feel good about yourself, and then it becomes an avenue for somebody to use to attack you.
Which means in all these areas, we just have to be careful. Because you don't know who is watching.
Right.
You don't know who is watching.
Right.
But I just want to ask, just a quick one. You mentioned the MTN number. I just want to find out, and I'm sure my listeners would also probably find themselves in that position. Are there some specific gaps that make, especially the
MTN kind of thing? I get it. You see, I say something in tree, and let me say. So when you pado swan, and I sem to a quechiri.
Yes.
Okay.
So when you pado swan, I sem to a quechiri. If you have a lot of people around you, when something happens to you, it gets far. Like, you know, oh, Charlie, do you remember this guy? Do you remember this person? Oh, this man. Everybody knows the man. So if the man is bereaved or something, it goes far. But it doesn't mean that Momo fraud is only within MTN. At all. We are in this industry. It hits everywhere. Where there is money, that is what the people are looking for, right? So it affects everyone, but just that because it is MTN, you are talking about 14.3 million people who are using the service almost once every 30 days on my platform, right? So you would have some of these things happening because that is where the money is flowing all the time, and that is where people are going to target people from, because you have a lot of people on that platform. But it's not only us. But that, for me, that even shouldn't be the problem.
Yeah.
Whether it is a competitor or not, Momo fraud isn't good. And for that reason, all the players, stakeholders, including the customer, need to play a role in it for us to protect ourselves.
We will have to shine our eyes because people are ready to defraud us. But once we are vigilant, we can stay secure when it comes to keeping our mobile money. Now, I just want to find out something from you, Eric. You took us through some steps earlier, and there's a need for us to stay secure. These people are doing all the things out there. I just want to find out, has there been any time where some of them have been caught in any way, or it's just, it happens and they just get to go away with it?
Okay. In fact, that question would have rather even gone to Gordon. But let me answer it. Yes, there have been several instances where swoops have been done, people have been arrested. So it's not as if nothing is being done at all. But of course, the populace will want more, right? They want to see a lot of action here and there. But a lot of work is going on. The law enforcement agencies, in collaboration with the telcos and then the telecoms chamber, are, taking some proactive steps to be able to nip this situation in the bud. But of course, there's more room for improvement.
Okay, there's definitely more room. Now, Gideon, let me just ask you, for my mom at home, who I know very well is listening to us, what will be some of the steps that you can tell her that she can just follow and be sure that she wouldn't have any issue when it comes to these mobile money?
Good.
Fraud?
Thanks. So I think I mentioned the first one, which is how to treat your PIN. You make sure that you don't share your PIN with anyone. That is the first thing. Then you need to change your PIN frequently as well. So that is also another good practice you need to do. Also, our old ladies and our old men, normally they get to these vendors, and when they want to transact, they hand over their phones to them that help me with it. That is also a bad practice, because you don't know the vendor or the merchant you are dealing with. If this person happens to be amongst the fraudsters, then you are done for the day. So that is another way. And also, people are fond of clicking on links and these competitions. So imagine you get a text message that you've won a prize of something you never entered, a competition you never went into. So that's where the greediness coming, So the more you stay vigilant, the better. You don't entertain some of these things. Strangers' phone calls, the person calls you. The moment you start, like the person starts with the line, I'm calling from MTN, I'm calling from this, you know that this is a fraudster. You drop the line. Don't even entertain them further. So you see, before we came on there, I was telling Eric that to fight this area, the key thing is the human factor. That is the awareness we are creating for the end users or the victims, because there's no security protocol, there's no security measure that can be effective as the awareness. If you are cyber aware, or you are aware of what is happening in the environment, you've been hearing this EMFA and all these things, sister new landing and all these things. If you are aware of these things, I don't think you will be in the position to entertain them. So in short, they need not to entertain some of these fraudulent activities, the SMS, the phone calls, the funny phone calls, and sharing their password or letting people know of the password, passing the phone on to the vendors to assist them. And these are basic stuff you can do. And normally the basic things are the hard ones to do.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah. And one other thing, we call something digital footprint. Gordon touched on it a bit. Let me dive a little bit into it. So we fill a lot of online forms. We do a lot of online applications, surveys, and a lot of stuff online. These are information we give out freely. So a lady asked Gordon, how did they even mention my name and my date of birth? You've forgotten that you filled an online form where you left you provided your name and date of birth. And these guys are in this business for good. So they harvest this data. They do the data mining. They do what we call the war dialing, where they get mass volume of data, and then they try at random to see who they can pick on and all that. You get it. Some of these vendors, in quote, also are partners to these fraudsters. So when you go to the vendor to do mobile money transfer, they get it, and then they also pass on your information to these entities. So it's all about being cyber aware, knowing what is happening in the environment, and just staying put and making sure that if you see something or you hear something fishy, you act. And I think we'll get to how you can report some of these things moving forward. Yes.
Sure. We'll just take a quick ad from MTN, and then we'll continue with the next session.
My man, I heard there's a new app on the streets that does it all for you.
Really? How is that possible?
Charlie, I also could not believe it too. But I downloaded the app and I'm telling you, I was able to chat with my friends, make video calls and...
Well, we know of many apps that can do that.
Oh, let me finish la. I was also able to listen to the latest songs, play games and read the latest sports news.
For real?
Yeah, and I can send and receive money from the app. Amazing, no?
What's the name of this app?
It's called Ayoba.
Ayoba?
Yeah, Ayoba.
Get Ayoba, your all-in-one app that lets you chat, call, share, play, pay, and listen to music all in one app for everyone. Enjoy Ayoba with MTN and download the Ayoba app today. Everywhere you go.
Geek Squad is sponsored by MTN. MTN everywhere you go. Thanks a great deal to MTN for making this show possible. Now we have a message and would like to just take that from Kobe. He said, I have over the period heard of SIM swap. Is that feasible, and if yes, how does it work? That's his question. From Kobe Asin Fusu. There's also another from Momo agents should know that telecom companies will not call them for reversal process. It is only process that will do that. Okay.
That's another way of defrauding. This is targeted to agents specifically.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was a question about the SIM swap.
Yes. Okay. SIM swap is basically changing the SIM that you use in your phone that carries the phone number, is basically changing it. That is the SIM swap. So I could just walk to an MTN office or any other of the telecom office and then say, okay, my SIM is damaged, I can't make a call, or my SIM is lost, so I'm coming for a new one. That process is what we call SIM swap. Yeah. Okay. We do have agents, third-party agents, where we don't have presence, as in our offices. So you have third-party agents that have come on board, and we do hear sometimes that somebody would go and give somebody money in those shops, and then they would, swap a SIM without having to go through the normal processes that the organization has set for people to follow before you do a SIM swap. So, for example, when you come, if the SIM is yours, I'll check your ID. I need to take a picture of that ID, take a picture of yourself to show that you were in the store requesting for the SIM before they do the change. Now, if these processes are not followed and then they do the SIM change, that is where you have somebody having his SIM change without him going to the office or requesting for it. Does that necessarily end up in you being defrauded? No. In the sense that if somebody has even your SIM, he does not have your PIN. Yeah. And the only way to get access to your wallet is the PIN.
Okay.
And that is why they waste their time to call you. Other than that, you will sit down somewhere and somebody will just take your money out of your wallet. But because they need you to enter your PIN, that is why they will want to call you and do that. So the SIM swap does not necessarily lead to any fraud unless they also have access to your PIN.
That is why there's a need for us to change
The
our
pin,
pins
exactly.
often. All right. Also, all too soon, our time is almost coming to an end, and I'll be taking the final words from, first of all, Eric and then Gideon. Just about 30 seconds.
Okay, so what I have to say is fraud or Momo fraud is real. So stay proactive, very cautious, and avoid the regrets of being a victim. Thank you.
You have to stay proactive.
All right. Thanks for the opportunity. So I think it all boils down to the human factor, like I did indicate. My last words would be to report whenever you find yourself in such situation. And the National Cybersecurity Authority is doing a very great work in this area. So they have their WhatsApp number, which if we have the time, we can put there, and they have the phone number. So the number is 292. You can call or text anytime you suspect any activity that you can't really ascertain the source, or anytime you feel something is fishy, you can report on the 292 or call the 292, whether text or call. Then the WhatsApp number is 050 160 311. So 050 160 3111. Yeah, 111.
Thank you so much, Gideon. I have a question, and I'll just ask Godwin as he uses that to wrap up and his final words. Ama Anobia Ejekum is asking, why does she still get the cash out authorization even though she has not allowed cash out?
It's not necessarily a cash out authorization. You know, for the service, we have different transaction types. So cash out is a transaction type. So unless you have allowed cash out wouldn't come through. But you will still have instances where, because we have different kinds of online platforms that have integrated with us, you have people who, for example, will go to ABC e-commerce platform, want to buy something, and instead of putting their own Momo number, right, then they put Eric's Momo number, and then it triggers an authorization pop-up message in Eric's phone. Eric's is somewhere at home, somewhere in Koforidua. I'm doing it in Accra, right? And then you see it as if it's a cash out. No, if you enter your PIN, you are authorizing a payment for somebody who is sitting in his house trying to buy something online, and then he does it. So, as Eric said, if you've not issued any payment instruction, ignore it, cut it off. If you've not allowed any cash out and there's a prompt like that, cut it off. Don't say you want to enter to see what happens. You will get, defrauded.
Sure. Thank you so much, our guests, Godwin, Eric, and Gideon. As we have heard, there is a need for us to be changing our pins often. And when you get these calls from people, it is not the time to fret, trying to go and check and see if it's really true or not. Just be calm and know that it could be a fraudster. Be very sure of the numbers that are likely to come from the telcos. You can always find that out. MTN's number was given out. But if it is not, just be careful not to just go ahead and let someone defraud you. It's been an interesting conversation how we can secure our mobile money wallets, and I've been here as your host, Perpetual Adobia Biritwum. I know the shout out list is still there, but thank you all for joining us, especially you, my dear listener, my producer, Prince Safo, and Abeku. And to you, my guest, also, thank you so much for making time. I know definitely this conversation will have to continue. It's been great having this chat.
A lot of fire left in me.